What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Off the Top Rope. I gotta take one on the chin here. I jumped the gun earlier in the week. It was revealed that Jelly Roll was going to be a part of SmackDown in his hometown of Nashville, Tennessee, and the report said that he was going to have a SummerSlam build or some type of a match. We didn't know what, and I, like many people, were very skeptical and really kind of panned the idea because I was like, man, celebrity matches, I'm normally okay with those, but typically you'd have more than 2 to 3 weeks to build the thing. So I was just very lukewarm to the idea. It screamed very TKO. This condensed schedule didn't really help. And then on Friday, it was revealed there was breadcrumbs that started coming out. First, early on in the day, it said that Jelly Roll was going to work with Logan Paul, and I was like, nobody fucking asked for this because Jelly Roll and Logan Paul working together. I mean, Logan Paul can be entertaining, get heat, but he's also a piece of shit. And his wrestling ability, I think we've drummed it up a little bit. Like, he needs to be like, in terms of like a ring general or something like that. Like when his championship run, and then obviously the match with AJ Styles. AJ Styles couldn't get a really satisfactory match out of him. It was fine, but like it underwhelmed at WrestleMania. Um, and then right before SmackDown, it was revealed by PW Insider, Randy Orton is going to be teamed with Jelly Roll as a part of whatever this thing was, which naturally led you to the conclusion of, okay, Drew McIntyre's facing Randy Orton at Saturday night's main event on Saturday. And it's like, oh boy, this might be a recipe for fucking disaster. And so the segment happens, Jelly Roll singing his song. Out comes Logan Paul to hijack the segment. He starts going on this diatribe, which I actually thought was kind of funny because of how delusional it sounded, which was kind of fitting for Logan Paul as the heel, where he basically says, yeah, I don't like outsiders coming in here disrespecting the business of us wrestlers. And so then Randy Orton comes out and crashes the fuck out. Says, "How dare you disrespect him? You're no one to talk about this." And then Drew McIntyre comes out, gives him the Claymore. Logan Paul gets a number in on Randy Orton after this, and Jelly Roll throws Logan Paul to the mat. And the crowd, this entire fucking segment, maybe it was because it was Nashville, because Jelly Roll was there, but this crowd was eating this shit out of the palm of these guys' hands. And then Logan Paul destroyed the whole setup that Jelly Roll was singing his song. The drum set, the amps, like the guitar, everything was getting destroyed. But listen, I'm going to take this one on the chin. I was very wrong about this. I was very skeptical initially. Sometimes things don't usually sound as bad as they seem. And at its core, this was sports entertainment personified. Like, this was a sports entertainment segment. And now I totally understand why some people are going to have a problem with this, because I've already seen people say, well, Drew McIntyre went from feuding with CM Punk in one of the feuds of 2024, and now he's going to be in a tag team match with a country music star. Listen, I don't necessarily look at this as a bad thing for a lot of these people involved. A lot of people are going to look at Randy Orton, future Hall of Famer. What the fuck is he doing in a match with Jelly Roll? Has it ever occurred to you guys that Randy Orton may want to have fun at this stage of his career? And maybe in the back half of this year, maybe a loss in this match, or maybe a loss in this match, a loss at Saturday night's main event, some of this other shit leads to the Randy Orton heel turn. Or, Randy Orton maybe ends up being a babyface in this whole thing. We get the Cody double turn. There's still a lot of stuff that can play out here. But again, like, my biggest takeaway here is I was really blown away with, like, really just the thrown together thing. It just came out of nowhere. The night before Saturday night's main event, you're bringing in a country music star for a reported appearance that's going to potentially lead to a match at SummerSlam. I also got to say, Jelly Roll is slimmed down. The guy's putting in work from everything that I've heard. So maybe we're out in front of this a little bit too much early on. Yes, optically, this does not look great to have Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton involved in a tag team match with Logan Paul and Jelly Roll. On paper, is not going to look good. But Jelly Roll is one of the most famous country music artists in the world, probably arguably one of, if not the most famous. Won Grammys. He's done just about everything you could in the industry. He was at SummerSlam last year. He clearly loves the product. Him and Randy Orton are tight. He's a big Randy Orton fan. They clearly have a connection from both being from Tennessee. So gut feeling, knowing the creative, and Randy and being tight with Triple H, and knowing the way Randy has kind of operated, this might have been something that Randy wanted to do. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe this is something that Randy wanted to do, or Randy was proposing. He was like, yeah, why not? I mean, Randy's in his mid to late 40s, man. Like, the guy just had career-threatening back surgery. Why not have a tag team match with a country music star and, have some fun at SummerSlam? Why not? Like, that's the thing about this that I think when I knew about the initial things and the way that this was reported, I was a little bit skeptical of where this was going to go. But seeing the way that this whole thing came together, I don't hate this at all. I think that this could potentially have a chance to be, really, really entertaining at SummerSlam. And, like I said, we saw what happened with Bad Bunny. And I don't think by any means the Jelly Roll can be Bad Bunny, because Bad Bunny was just like a different breed. I would have liked for them to maybe give this a little bit more mileage, but this condensed calendar with TKO doing 7,500 events doesn't really help, because you're starting builds in the middle of other builds to pay-per-views. It's just, and what sucked about this is some of this took away. They had a women's segment that was cut short. Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton didn't even get their entrances because it's a 2-hour show. So that was part of this that was kind of a little bit annoying. And we don't even know really what Drew McIntyre's thinking. Like, listen, like I said, him and Randy are going to fight each other. It's going to lead into something else. I'm not ruling out a bunch of things for Drew McIntyre coming out of this. I think this is just a holding pattern, because let's be real. The world title pictures are kind of occupied. I don't see Randy Orton going to fight Gunther, or whether Goldberg wins or not. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see that happening. Cody Rhodes is facing John Cena. So the world title pictures are occupied. The Intercontinental title picture is clearly occupied by AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio. They're delaying on that. The U.S. title picture is occupied by the Bloodline. So what is there for Drew McIntyre to do? What is there for Drew McIntyre to do? You guys may not like the way the lay of the land is right now, but I think coming out of SummerSlam, whether it's Cody Rhodes or it's a John Cena thing, like, I honestly think that Drew McIntyre should be John Cena's last match. I think that should be the case. And he should be the one to retire him and get all the heat that he possibly can for just sending John Cena out on his back and fucking humiliating him, much like he did with Kurt Angle near the end of Kurt Angle's. Like, he wasn't Kurt Angle's last match, but remember, he made Kurt Angle tap out to the ankle lock, something in that vein. So I don't think this is all bad there. I don't think this is all bad for Randy Orton. There's not a lot else for them to do. So why not have a fun little tag match? And all the skepticism that we had going into this, they let this play out, and they cooked, man. Like, this was surprisingly good. It was very sports entertaining. I apologize to the masses for just misleading people and going off the deep end. I'm a little frustrated that this is going to be taking some people like Carmelo Hayes and like these other people, but it screams something out on the marquee. And look, listen, the crowd was loving this. They love this segment. Jelly Roll clearly has a connection. Obviously, it's in his hometown, so that's what made. But I would have liked to have seen them, have a little bit more of a runway to get here, as opposed to just starting it literally 3 weeks before SummerSlam starts. So maybe that's a little bit of a quibble for me. But all in all, man, like, this was really, really well done, considering all the criticism that we get for TKO and all the money grubbing and everything. And, but Triple H did a really good job here. They did a really good job of producing this segment. Randy Orton in particular sold his ass off, just like with calling Logan Paul a hypocrite, and they're weaving this into Saturday night's main event. So there's clearly going to be something that comes out of that match in Atlanta on Saturday night. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.